Okay, so very exciting day for me today because I have some guests for the Soul Mechanic podcast. First of all, I would like my guests to tell you where we are. And I'm not going to say who they are yet, but I'd like you to both just explain to the people listening, where are we? If they're not here, describe the place. You can go first, Bobby.
So we are in Tenerife. We are in a sunny, warm space where it's only not for the physical body, but for the soul, for the mind. And I would say it's a sanctuary. It's a place that is really needed in these times.
Amazing. And over to you, Marianne.
Yeah, I would say this place is a place where you can come and rent it and spend days as a normal tourist would do, but enjoying an atmosphere where you don't find easily, and because of the quietness that it provides. It's also a place where you can come and train your energy body and learn how to manage your stress.
Awesome. So where we are physically, I'm sitting here at the Tenerife Healing Garden in the Canary Islands. You can probably hear birds tweeting in the background. Do you know what kind of birds they are? Any ideas?
Tenerife birds?
Tenerife birds. Canarian birds.
Yeah, canaries. So I'm sitting here at this fantastic place where when I first saw it, I knew I was going to come and work here. I'm definitely going to be hosting my own retreat. So we are at the Tenerife Healing Gardens, which is on the southern part of the island. And we are literally high up here on this beautiful sea view. There's a banana plantation. They've got villas. Every villa has a swimming pool. And they've got this training dojo type of room. And there's this aura reading thing they do. So I just want you guys to meet the wonderful ladies who run this place. And what I'd like to do is introduce both of you officially. So Bobby and Marian are here. And I would love to first of all ask you guys, because you've given me such a good idea already of what people come here for and what the vibe is. Like Tenerife Healing Garden, like what do you guys do and who are you for? Let's start with Bobby.
What we do here is it is all based on a practice that combines Oriental medicine, moving the body, combined with neuroscience. It's this combination that works on the energy body, on the soul level, through the physical body. And this is great for everyone. So because it works on all different levels. Some people come here because they have really physical issues and they need to sort out the back or neck pains. And other people, they are going much deeper in the sense of looking for what is their purpose in their life? What's the reason they are alive? And they're really looking for something. And then I think we have the whole spectrum in between where most of us are stuck somehow, which is with the stresses of life, emotional, how to process emotions. So we are here for all those people who are looking to heal some of those parts and connect deeper with themselves.
Awesome. And Marianne, how would you put it for yourself?
As Bobby said, we have this practice called the Body and Brain, which is part of the Brain Education Organization. And Healing Garden is the European headquarters for this practice, which is very extended in Koriya, where it's from, United States, New Zealand, Japan, and UK, Europe, even though in Europe we are still small and really growing. So Healing Garden is the headquarters for all those centers in Europe to be able to come here and have a communal space where they can gather. So this is also a retreat center. Not only we offer our villas to normal tourists, but we organize these retreats based on this practice. So it's a sanctuary, like Bobby said, where the space is devoted to help humanity to awaken.
Amazing. And I think that takes us to the conversation, right? Humanity, because it's 2026. And I know that we live in a world right now where, to put it bluntly, there's just a lot of collective fear, and it comes in so many different ways. It's in terms of people being dysregulated in their bodies, but also manifests in physical form with illnesses and chronic conditions, all that kind of thing. So I'd love to just dive straight in. What kind of people do you guys find coming here, and what kind of results do you see? And anyone can go, whatever you want to say.
Mostly in my experience and my own experience is people who are very stressed and have physical pain. Because the pain, physical pain, is what unfortunately makes you really move. Until before the physical pain, there is some emotional discomfort, but most of us, we don't really pay attention to that. We get used to that. We are used to that.
Yeah.
Until the body takes over and says, okay, that's enough for the emotional moment. Now we're going physical, and I'm going to start really hurting. And that's when most of us take action. So I would say most of our members, they have some sort of physical discomfort or big physical pain and feeling stress.
Yeah. So I think you bring up something very important there, because even one of my mentors, shout out to Peter Crone, I'm in a mastermind with him right now, where he says it very well. He says that a lot of people say they procrastinate or they're just not committed. And he says every human being is committed. The problem is, what are you committed to? So like you've said, some people are literally committed to say, I'm going to suffer emotionally until my body says no. Then they change, and then they come out to maybe something else. So I feel like that's such a big topic to bring up, because I'm sure, because I do similar work as you guys, which is why I love working with you and being here, is that we're trying to help people act sooner, because we're working with energy, and energy is the leading sort of force to everything. As we say in quantum physics, right? It's like the wave informs the particle. It's like whatever is physical, what we think is physical, was created by energy first, including what we're discussing. So I love the idea of exploring a bit about that. Maybe both of you can share a little bit of your personal stories. I think that would be cool. Bobby, how did you first come into this work? Because I'm sure you had a reason, right? What did that look like, and how did you get to this point where you're literally managing the European headquarters? Because maybe someone else can say, wow, that's me, and I could maybe one day be doing something cool like this.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, I think I never thought of reaching this stage in my life of doing what I'm doing right now. I always knew I wanted to help others. But actually, I started when I was around 24 years old, and I was looking for something. I didn't know what. So I tried different yogas because I saw a lot of that, and it seemed like some people were getting a lot out of it. But I was always getting very bored in these yoga classes. So I thought of some meditation. Anyway, after a lot of searching, and I think in the back of my head, I had this question, or what I was looking for is a teacher, someone who would guide me. And then I one day stumbled upon one of the body and brain centers that was in Brighton, UK. This center is not there anymore at the moment. So anyway, I came across it. I joined a session and a class there. And I remember the first time I left the first session, and I was walking outside, and I called my mom, and I just said to her, like, everything looks so much brighter. Just everything looked shinier and brighter. And I got to this point of looking for something because I was emotionally, I didn't know how to manage my emotions anymore. And I felt, at the time I didn't know, but I felt very depressed. I was looking at the world around me, and I could see everything that was wrong in the world. And I felt hopeless because I was like, all those people that are walking around me on the street, and they don't know like how hopeless everything is and how many things need to be fixed, and how can I get to everyone saying I wanted to just shake them up and be like, wake up. And I felt horrible because I was like, the world is huge, and I felt like that's a task that I cannot handle. So anyway, then I joined these classes. I felt amazing right after the first class. So I joined right away at the center where I could go to class. I went 5 days a week after work. And if some days I would not do it, I would not feel great. But it was this reset at the end of the day. And it helped me so much. And then I did the first workshop, and I connected to some part of myself that I didn't know I was looking for. And I learned that I just need to focus on myself. I learned, not just through understanding, because that's the thing. I think a lot of us know in our heads, oh yeah, me first and then the rest. But to actually feel it in my body and in myself. If I manage myself, if I make myself feel good, if I raise my consciousness level, then it automatically has an effect on people around me. And I could literally see people around me changing for me with the experience between me and the other people. Other people might still have the bad experience they were always having. So yeah, and then things kept just going and rolling. I think it's like this snowball, it's the energy ball, kept just going and going until suddenly I'm here in Tenerife running this center.
Amazing. See, that's what I love about that's such a good example, right? It's like you said it so well, like the world was brighter, because that's what energy does. We all are made of energy. We won't go into the details of the science of it, but people hear it all the time. And for me, one of the best things that I say to people all the time, because I've been someone who people say that, like, Ryan, you're just so positive all the time. Do you take drugs? Are you on marijuana? I've never taken drugs in my life. And people can't believe that because I'm a musician. They're like, whatever. But I'm a happy guy, but that's because I was lucky with my upbringing. I've been a positive person, but I literally, as you're saying, Bobby, can see the difference that I have a very different reality to other people in the same world. So that's what I love about this. You said it very well. It's very normal when people get awoken, whatever, they go, I have to shake everyone up. And then you quickly get through, hopefully, that process of actually, I just need to worry about me being a good example, because it always starts with inside out.
Yeah.
So I think that's such a good example of that process. And what would you say has been your journey?
My journey here is completely different to Bobby and quite exceptional, as I know now. Before jumping into Healing Garden as a staff, I have been, still are, tourist guide for the island. So for 20-something years, I spent my days in a bus running around with tourists in many different languages, showing them the island. And then one day, I received this request of taking a private group to Mount Ada. And I said, okay, let's do it. So it ended up that this private tour was with Il Chili, which is the owner of Healing Garden and the founder of our practice and the organization Brain Education. I didn't know anything. All I knew was this gentleman from Koriya with a book. The book said, I have decided to live 120 years. And he was going around with this book, taking pictures everywhere, like with the book. And I read the book and I said, wow, this is not a novel like a love story or police story kind of thing. This is not a thriller. This is actually something of what I am very interested in, which is the holistic world. And at the time, for more than nearly a year, I had developed in my body, like it looked like arthritis. My joints were totally gone, inflammation everywhere in my body. So I was in pain, in a very high level of pain. I suffered a lot. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't understand. I was also a dancer. I had to quit dancing for good. So inside of me, there was a lot of despair and like pain, but outside, beautiful face, beautiful smile, positive thinking, keep going. So I met this gentleman and I see this book, and during lunchtime, I happened to be eating with them. And so I asked, okay, if you've written about this stuff, it's obviously more. What do you do? So he said, I am a doctor in Chinese medicine. So I said, that's convenient. And then I explained to him all my problem. Oh, look, 1 year ago, I started with this. The doctor said, so I stopped eating this and this. And I started taking la 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 la. And I remember he looking at me dead serious, that even as I was talking, I was thinking, man, this guy doesn't even tiny smile or something. That's deep serious. When I finished, he said something that really was like throwing me a glass of frozen water in my face. He said, there's nothing wrong with your physical body. What is wrong is your vibration. you are vibrating in guilt. Guilt is your main emotion, and that is very low, and you've been vibrating there for so long that no wonder why your body is sick now. Actually, be grateful to your body that it's showing you there is something not going on well. So anyway, for me, that was very shocking. And then he said, we have this practice. I encourage you very much to start practicing. You need to make your energy circulate. There's a lot of stagnant energy in your body because of stress. You're basically super stressed because of that emotion that you're holding. And please, you have to start moving that. So, of course, I understood in the intellectual level what he meant. But for me, it was easier to say, no, it's because of gluten, or it's because of dairy, or yeah, it's because of my job is very stressful. It was a lot easier than actually take responsibility and check, oh no, it's because I am acting this way and I am thinking that way and I am feeling this way. And anyway, so I remember starting classes with Bobby here at Healing Garden. And it was just pain, all the time pain. The most simple exercise, I was crying. I was even angry with her, like, really?
Why are you making me suffer?
Yeah. Oh God, so much. So then anyway, I kept training, and then, as she said, the first big workshop came. And that was also like had a big high impact in me. Something, because I heard something, I don't want to say in case some of the people who is listening someday will take it, but I really heard something in my mind. And that made me, because it was not anymore information. I went directly into the experiencing. Once you experience it, it's very different. You take it on board. It becomes part of your life. So that made me change to the point of, okay, it hurts. Never mind, it hurts. If I need a chair to sit down, I'm grateful I have a chair that I can hold on to sit down. So I started changing my mind. And then I took another program, the Woman Arrow. And maybe 3 or 4 months after that big program, because in my mind, I had totally transcended. The victim consciousness had really gone, even though it still was painful. Then I remember one day I sat down and I realized, oh my God, I sat down, not thinking. Standing up, sitting down, standing up, it doesn't hurt. Wow, I was really amazed. Yeah, that was for me really wow. And then one day, the master who was here before Bobby took over, there was this other manager, and she said, would you like to join and be part of our staff? And the reason I did it's because I had a lot of opportunities to be with them out of the class on a personal level. And I knew how they were struggling in certain issues. But I could also see, oh my God, these two women, they have a lot of problems, things to be worried about, bureaucracy, paperwork, setting a company, a lot of pressure. How do they keep this bright mind, this bright attitude? How don't they make a drama? If I were them, I would be really devastated and wouldn't be able to stop thinking about it all day. And how can they be so happy, genuinely happy? If I know they have problems, but they don't seem to make that the center of their life. It's like, okay, I have this, yeah, I see it, I talk about it, but okay, keep going. That was what really made me choose. Yeah, I really want to learn how to be that way.
Yeah, which is super cool, right? Because what you're talking about is, like we started with this conversation, the world is a very stressful place. If you choose that, and I'm not minimizing the things that some people are really going through right now, but there is this weird wisdom that comes to be like, no matter what's happening outside of your body, there is this invitation to still have that inner zen, or at least awareness or compassion for self. Because another thing that I think is interesting, because when I'm doing this work on my side as a NLP hypnosis change worker and so on, is that I'm basically trying to show people that they have the ability to still stay grounded and calm and have self-compassion. Because a lot of times we're beating ourselves up. That's what it's about. It's like when someone's angry at you or stressed about something, it's usually that they're talking to themselves in a way. It's like, I'm not good enough. I'm in fear. So that maybe takes time down the line for people to understand that. But what I love about this conversation is it's just demonstrating how two people, both of you, have been in situations where you went, oh, there was an A and a B. There was a before and an after. You're still in the same worlds, but you're having completely different lives. And the same thing, again, Peter Crone, he says this a lot, which I love how he says there's a timeline that you are on, your vibration, as you said, Marianne. You have a certain vibration, maybe it's like guilt in this case or whatever. It's not a very high vibration. So your reality or your timeline, when you get to another 2, 3, 5 years, there are certain things that are going to happen. Your body's going to get sick. It's very likely, right? But if you jump frequency, and they say the same thing again, it's like having a radio station. If you're listening to, 99.9 FM, and it's like death metal, let's just say, for example, because it's like, and there's a lot of stress on the body, maybe, then you, but I want classical music, but you're on the wrong frequency. You need to go to 107.5, and it's up to you to change the dial. And then you go, and some Rachmaninoff. Much better, right? That's how life literally is. That's why we see so many people walking the same lifestyle, having different experiences. It's the frequency you're on. So for me, I love that idea. This is a good example. You guys are literally on a different timeline. Had you not done the work you've done, you certainly would not be sitting here, and you maybe not would have been able to sit still. It's really interesting.
Definitely not.
So what I'd like to talk about now is like for anyone who's listening in, and you're out there, and you're already going, okay, I'm in. Tell me more, guys. What is going on? Let's talk about the journey to the Healing Garden. What kind of people do you guys invite over here? What kind of events or classes do you do? And I know that you have retreats, but you also do classes. So let's talk about that. What do they look like? And let's maybe start with that, like from the beginning. Someone who is completely new to this topic, where do they stand? Like, where should they go first? What would you recommend they do if they come to your website?
I suggest classes is the best way to start. Because, you can join a retreat, and that will be great. But even after retreats, then you need a basis. You need a foundation. And classes is the best way to create this foundation. Because it's, like you were saying, it's about frequency, right? And it's about changing that dial. And sure, on a radio, you click one button, you click the next, then you're on a different dial. But how does it work with my body? Like, how do I change frequencies? It's such a simple concept, and it's very simple to do. But if you have never learned how to, then it's like, I understand that you're clueless. So in class, you learn to connect to your body, and you learn how to manage energy, your own energy. And this is the most basic thing, because that's where you start, in your own body. That's where you're living at the moment, right? On your journey on earth. Yeah. So as you join the classes, then you enter the experience, and a lot of people enter a class and they have no idea really what to expect and what's going to happen. So I guess this element of surprise is also something that belongs to starting the journey at Healing Garden. And from there we have workshops and we have different trainings, but we want our members to be ready for them. I don't want to sell the workshops because it's not everyone is ready for them right away. Yeah. But classes are, because you get out of class exactly what you need. We will have members who have been doing this for 10 years and for 2 days, or they are 15 years old and 77 years old, and they all work together. They all will participate in the same class. Yeah.
And it's important to also add, these classes you're talking about, they happen on site here in Tenerife, but they also happen online. So wherever you are in the world, you can go to healinggardentenerife.com, and you can actually sign up for classes and join them online. And I believe every class you do here on site is also online. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. Whatever's on site will happen online as well.
Yeah.
I would like to also add, these classes are extremely easy to follow, because people think, yoga, I like to always say, yoga means union, mind-body union. So these classes are going to help you bring your mind and body together.
So tell us about that. What are you doing? Is it yoga? What are you guys doing?
What we do is called Body and Brain, which is, like she said, is a fusion between Qigong principles and the neuroscience. Neuroscience is all the modern discoveries about how the brain works, how the brain waves work, and how to actually affect and change those brain waves in an easy way, because it's all about balance. Your nervous system needs to be balanced, and the problem here is that most of us, we are off balance, meaning that our brain waves are really high. And so how to bring them down, how to make your nervous system be quiet and in balance, it's actually very easy.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things about these classes. They're very easy to follow. It's for all levels. If you are like me, I was very much in pain when I began, and many things I couldn't do, but still I couldn't perform exactly like they are meant to be done, but never mind. I did what I could, and the benefit is always there.
Yeah.
And now she's teaching.
And
right?
now I am.
There you go, right? Like let's talk about transformation, right?
Yeah.
And tell me about that. Like maybe just quickly, let's talk about maybe a couple of examples of like other people who've joined and what have had some dramatic sort of results for the work. Like you'd mentioned someone earlier who.
Yeah, I want to share one that I didn't mention earlier. So this was already over 10 years ago, a guy with fibromyalgia. And so someone with fibromyalgia suffers pain through their whole body. And he was already walking on crutches and not able to stand by himself. So, or with the crutches, or he would always be sitting. And he entered the center where I was working and decided it was like, okay, I'll try a class. And so he did everything sitting on a chair or like very barely moving his arms and not moving his legs. But he was consistent. He came every day to class. And suddenly he was like, oh, I'll try a standing class. And he did that. And then suddenly he was like, I'll not take the chair and I'll sit down on the floor. And before you knew it, he came in walking without his crutches.
Wow.
And that was really amazing to see, like this huge transformation. And like, it was a journey, and I could see how much the exercises, even though they're so simple, they help move what is stagnant in the body. And yeah, it works on your mind, it works on your emotions, and then you can see the results in your physical body. And yeah, that's one of the amazing, I've seen many amazing stories, but that one I always love, because the people who I've seen with fibromyalgia, I'm always telling them this story because I know it's possible to get out of the suffering from the physical body.
Yeah, it's such a great example. And what's important about that as well is what you're talking about is I can tell what's super important about this conversation is that wherever you are, whether you're in Tenerife or out there in the world, is that you guys are always there. That's the thing. It's like seems to be this thing of like, even with this man you're talking about with fibromyalgia, it's like, it can be a regular thing. Keep coming. And now I feel confidence enough to stand because he kept coming and you were always there because the classes are ongoing. I think that's something that's also important for people to understand. And with that, I want to actually talk quickly about, you mentioned like a good entry point is the classes online and in person. Then you mentioned workshops and retreats. Tell me about who out there can say, oh yeah, I'm ready for those. Who would be ready to just come straight into a workshop or a retreat?
I'll say especially retreats, anyone that's looking for a change, basically. I think like this such an immersive time where you're just like only doing that. The retreat, for example, that is a time where you can also come in with your intention, like something you want to change, or you feel stuck, or you feel lost. And I think anyone who is a little bit confused about where they're going to, in what direction in their lives, this is a very huge, can be a huge turning point and a big help.
Amazing. So I actually want to dive into something a little bit different. Like I'm curious, tell me about life in Tenerife. I just want to know more about like maybe even the Healing Garden, or because it sounds like a very sort of community, like family kind of place. You guys got a dog, there's some kids around, and like you've got this beautiful island that's full of amazing opportunities to do hiking. There's water sports. Paint a picture of life in Tenerife like for you guys. What is that like?
Actually, I moved to Tenerife to do this. It's been here how long?
I have been here since 1998, so a long time. And I have seen the island change so much. But, however, These islands provide mostly everyday good weather. So this is the main reason why everybody comes here, because the weather here is very nice. And then when they come here and just for the sunshine, they realize, oh God, plus they are so beautiful. This Tenerife itself has got the largest volcano of Spain, mostly of Europe. It offers a great variety of landscapes, a lot of hiking possibilities. You can water sports, also high risk sports. You say that, like parapente, paragliding, and stuff. Amazing corners to discover. Canarian people are lovely. I think it's because of the sunshine that they have this beautiful, welcoming personality. They're warm, humble as well. So you can see that everywhere you go. And it offers you what every other big resort could offer you, like entertainment, 5-star hotels, luxury, plus on the other hand, all the rural possibilities, food, gastronomy.
Yeah, I think I came here to do the job, to do the project. So when I came here the first time, I never thought of Tenerife or the Canary Islands or go visit them. And the idea before was always like, oh, I would love to travel to Asia and to Thailand and to do this and to do
Very
that.
far away.
Yeah, but then I came here and I was driving with a car, no clue really where I was going, just like driving around. And then I enter Masca and I was literally like, wow, like the landscape, I was not expecting that. And it's only 20 minutes from where we are now. Where we are now is like this dry,
It's very
more
dramatic.
desert-like landscape. And then, yeah, suddenly you go over the ridge of the mountain, literally, and then you are in, I don't know, seems like the Machu Picchu mountain or the amazing beaches. It's just incredible. I think it's incredible as a tourist and even living here. I bring my daughter to school in Adeje, and then every morning I see those mountains.
Yeah, it's
And then
breathtaking.
in my head, I hear this voice like, oh, you go to school here? Really, it's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
super cool. Very powerful microclimates as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and because nature is very present, you can see it.
Which is our original
Everywhere.
healer. This is the thing. Like nature is what we use to heal and needs to heal. So I love the fact that you're living in it. And actually, tell me about that. You've got a banana plantation. What do you guys do with that?
Bananas?
We make bananas. The previous owners of this estate,
Yeah.
they were in the banana production. We've removed a big part of the banana production, but we've kept the biggest, we call it banana farm. And so the main reason for that is we still produce the bananas and we sell them to the co-op, but it is actually a very special and magical place. I think we've infused a lot of the energy of the practice in every corner of the property as well. So it has this really added element. But it's interesting to see if you learn how a banana plant grows and evolves and reproduces, it can bring you a big reflection on yourself and on family dynamics, on
Ancestors, your
ancestors, exactly that.
Yeah.
So we bring our members there as well when there's a retreat. That's part of the practice.
Yeah.
Because I think any element you can use with the right set of mind or with the right story. And we bring them there and we explain all of that. And that together with the added element of already doing the inner work, it brings up a lot of...
Yeah, because I asked that because when I first came here, it was one of the places that actually had an effect on me. I felt it. I was like, whoa, because it's like, it feels like this otherworldly place because it's a banana, just a farm or plantation, but it's covered by this Hessian because of the atmosphere and stuff. But there was an energy of just peace and calm, and it's big. So I was just walking in there, and I just felt so nice to be in there. And then explaining how the bananas or whatever it is, the parent trees and how they work and the plants. So I just think it's such an interesting place to experience. As you've said, there's so much variety here. And what I'd like to ask you now is, I'm very curious, as the Healing Garden, let's talk about who are you interested in connecting with? Because sometimes it's not just about you being a business and people coming to be here. Are there any other businesses perhaps or any other industries or just cool human beings out there that you would love, if they're listening to this, to go, yeah, get in touch. We'd love to connect with whatever it is, other retreat centers or certain lifestyle people or certain kind of community or personalities. Just go wild and just, dream with me. Almost go big. Go, oh my God, it would be amazing to, I don't know, you feel this center. Okay, let's do the dream. What does that look like? People, stuff like, who's this going to energetically find out there and invite them in?
I'd like to say we're always looking for vision partners. So the work that we do is not just so that the business can run. There's a vision behind it. And the vision is to raise the consciousness of the earth. So it's all about self-development and then that kind of work to raise your consciousness so that you can affect positively the people and the places around you. And we're always looking for these vision partners. So who want to participate in doing this. And it might be someone who has been doing this for a long time and wants a bigger community to do this together. Or maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it, but it's like calling something inside of you, or something inside of you is waking up when you hear this. I think those are the best people.
Sounds amazing. I'm in. Oh yeah, I'm here too. To be honest, that's why I'm here. I was like, Susie's calling me here, and I was like, that's it. We're working together.
Sure. Yeah, when you were talking, I could hear in my head, shine bright. People who are ready to shine bright and brighter and make their environment brighter and share that bright light around. And I was thinking also of Tony Robbins, something.
He can give us a call.
Come and bring some lightning bolts. But this is it. That's what I love about the world we live in. As we said, if everything's energy, then let's put it out there and let's see who comes and who is called in, because you never know. And I think that's a beautiful place to wind it down. And I would love to now talk about, if anyone's listening, how can they get in touch? How do you prefer to be contacted? And what is on the calendar for 2026 so far?
The best ways to get in touch with us or to see what we're doing is Instagram, Tenerife Healing Garden, or the website as well. And then through the website, you can contact us, write into our email. And what's going on this year? So we have a few retreats planned. We started actually this year the Love Myself retreat. We did the first one in February, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful. It was fully booked. We had more people wanting to join during the retreat. So there's one coming up in June and another one in September.
Nice.
We also do private retreats. So May is usually the month of private retreats, but we have the whole year to organize them as well. And these are bigger groups. So whether you are a bigger family who wants a retreat or a group of friends, and then we tailor them to what you want.
Yeah, we have one of our retreats that we organize for our American members and sometimes also for Europe. It's called the Tenerife Meditation Tour, which you were asking before about Tenerife. So in this program, what we do is that we take them out to visit the island, but not just from the tourist point of view, but from the energy point of view. So we take them to specific points: Mount Teide, Dragon Tree, Masca, Garachico, the ocean, the forest. And we go there. We admire the beauty of the place, of course. Me as a tourist guide, so I can explain so many stuff. But mostly we make trainings. We conduct trainings in those powerful places to connect with the energy of that particular spot. It's very powerful. So this is happening in May as well.
Yeah, in May we have one.
That's cool, because that's one I've seen where you've got like you're by the seaside and you're doing those cool like Karate Kid poses, do your practices, and I think it's super cool. Amazing. So thank you very much for hanging out with me today and sharing a little bit of your energy. And for everyone who's listening, thanks for listening in. And of course, you know what to do. I'm sure you've already decided, if you're listening to this and you're going, I need to get involved, you know where to find us. Find the Healing Garden website on Instagram as well. Of course, the show notes will have all the links. And to close off, I would love to ask you both one farewell message. If you're to leave a message right now, you're both parents. So go 20 years into the future and think about your kids, how old they are at that age, and I would like you to leave them a message to say, this is my message to you, what would you say to them?
I would say, I love you, and live your life with courage and have fun.
I love that. Have fun, especially that. Yes. Courage and fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't take life so seriously. I think I'm in the process myself now to really learn that things don't need to be so serious, and that life, the life that I live is perfect. I don't need to live by anyone else's ideas or that I may have. So yeah, don't take life so serious, and yeah, make it fun. Laugh, and I'm sure you're doing a very good job already.
Beautiful. I love that so much. Thank you very much. So with that wonderful message, I'd like to sign off and say thanks for joining me. I'm Ryan Koriya, the Soul Mechanic, on the Soul Mechanic Diaries podcast. And as you can see, once in a while, I'm going to give you guys some juicy episodes with guests from who knows where next time. And till then, stay well.